Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. WWE 2K25 has dropped another patch on a block, and there has been some good things, some bad things. But before we go on ahead and get into both, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. You guys have been enjoying the content on the channel lately. Nonetheless, let's go on ahead and get into it. WWE 2K25's last DLC pack has come out, and that is kind of saddening. You know what I'm saying? The cycle is finally kind of over. We look at these last couple months. It's hard to believe that this year cycle went by this fast. We're already in November, and a couple months from now, we're going to be talking about the new game. So that's kind of cool to think about as well. But we did get Psycho Sid. We did get Tito Santana. We did get Jesse Ventura, which is probably going to be his last WWE game after what we've heard. It doesn't seem like they renewed his contract, and they're just going to leave it at that after the comments that he made during the Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre match. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. So if you are a Jesse fan, make sure that you do get your matches with him this year, because I don't think he is going to be in the game again. Just my personal thoughts, me personally thinking, I just don't think so, at least not anytime soon. You know, just going into the patch, right? There were a lot of things added with the patch. Now, the first thing we're going to go off with is Penta. Penta was added in this patch. A lot of people were super excited about Penta getting his new attire, and we spoke about it in the last video. If you are someone who is just looking for, you know, the attire, go ahead. If you're someone that gets the satisfaction from getting the Persona card right from MyFaction, go ahead. But we did get some news as to how we will be able to attain this Persona card. And here it says, additionally, keep your eyes peeled later this month for a new live event series. Complete the series and you'll unlock an infinite rarity Penta WrestleMania 41 Persona card. Again, an infinite card, Persona card, something that you will have in the game, and I'm all for all this type of content. Give me things to do. Give me ways to attain this card. If it is affordable, kudos to 2K. Hopefully it's not something out of the control, right? Because I always say, it's a business. They got to get their money. I get that. But at least give us a happy balance between you getting your money and the consumer not having to spend so much money. That would be the greatest thing that you guys can do. But again, I feel that maybe we do have, you know, something cooking with this Penta card, especially that it doesn't have really anything special aside from the attire. But man, every time I look at the entrance, it looks so good. Shout out to What's the Status for posting the entrance for us on X. But yes, man, it is such a great entrance. Like when you look at it, it's like, whoa, like it's just really a good thing in my opinion, man. I love to see it because his model is just so good. All these attires and everything, they just look super cool on him because they did such a spectacular job with the tattoos and all that cool stuff. So just one thing I wanted to go on ahead and point out. And if you are a MyFaction fan and you're looking at when are they going to release the Galaxy Opal token market, it's coming out soon. We just don't know when. I went ahead, hopped on the game. It doesn't look like anything yet, but it does have a coming soon right under it. I'm personally nowhere near, but I know that a lot of you guys are that like to play this mode. So yes, it is coming out at some point. We don't have a date yet, but it looks to be that it's coming out very soon. And one thing that we have to keep our eyes peeled for is the island. It looks like the island is coming out at some point. It did not come out with today's patch, but it is coming out at some point. And I do feel that we may have something coming for that, being that it didn't drop at this point. Maybe there's a surprise or something in there for us, being that it could potentially be the last chapter of the year. That's really where I'm at with it. We're at a number 5, which is kind of like the wraparound number where, you know, a lot of people use number 5 to, okay, that's it. You know, maybe chapter 5 is that number for 2K as well. I'm not sure. But again, it is very possible that it could be our last chapter, as they're probably working on more stuff with the island for the next installment of the year. But again, man, chapter 5 and just all the chapters of MyFaction, right? You take those with a grain of salt. They haven't been the most amazing things, but some people seem to like them. Some people seem to not like them. And that's just really what it is with that. I really would prefer more than just a screen telling the story. But again, you have to start somewhere. So I'll go on ahead and give them that and hope that next year we do see some changes throughout the island and some changes that are just, you know, worth it from a consumer perspective. So just my 2 cents with that. Not a bad thing. I always like additional content. So even if the content isn't for me, it could be for somebody else. Different strokes for different folks, fellas. So we'll go on ahead and move on from that one. And it does seem, before I go on ahead and get away completely from MyFaction, it seems like there is a new pack coming out on November 14th. So you guys make sure to keep a lookout for that. Obviously, bro, we don't want to sit here and talk about MyFaction all video, but we do got to go on ahead and talk about it, right? There's a new pack drop, all that good stuff. If you like to spend money, if you got MyFaction points to spend, that news is for you. So I don't want to spend too much time speaking on it, but let's go on ahead and really get into the nitty gritty. There was some new creation suite parts added with the new patch. Now, I don't have the detailed patch notes. By the time this video is out, a patch note could be out, but a patch has been dropped and it's already available across everywhere. You guys know they dropped these patches because the DLC is kind of included in those patches, and that's just what it is. So far, to me, the DLC looks pretty cool. There would be a couple changes that I would have made, such as, you know, Psycho Sid. I would really like something more updated, but I understand that they had to go sort of a Saturday night main event theme, but I really would have liked something, you know, more for what we actually liked Psycho Sid for. And that's my 2 cents with that. I would really like to see that, you know, hopefully in the future, maybe next year if he's still in the game, give us a couple of different attires. But again, I'm not going to sit here and complain. It is a pretty good DLC pack, pretty cool one. It's not completely my cup of tea, simply because a lot of these characters, man, they were way before my time. You know what I'm saying? Way before 2002. So that's just my 2 cents. But again, it is cool to see these DLC packs again, just get more detail in there and everything like that. Like, this is probably going to be one of the coolest ones in terms of detail because they had so much time to nail down this detail. And I do wish that we had a couple more, you know, old school arenas to really, you know, play around with, because I just feel that we just don't have enough of that anymore, you know, and we do get a lot of old school ones, but it's just not the same. Like, I remember back then we used to get a lot of arenas as well and some old school ones, and now we kind of just in the middle of everything. I would love to see just some more old school arenas, you know, throughout the next couple years with 2K, in my opinion. And just, you know, that's just what I think. Maybe you guys don't want them, but it would be cool to have even more arenas to continue developing that, you know, Attitude Era, that old universe mode for those people that really like to play with those older characters. That would be cool too. Nonetheless, y'all, this is probably going to be the last big patch. I think that we're pretty much done. It's crazy to say, but the cycle is over damn near. I mean, we just got a couple more Persona cards, things like that dropping. I assume that, you know, throughout the next couple months, they will keep updating the mode and just trying to extend the life of the game, which again, I'm all for. Keep dropping that content, keep giving people a reason to play. I'm all for that, man. So I'm excited to see what is going to happen throughout the next couple of months. So we'll see what happens with that. But for right now, the last DLC pack is over, y'all. We've covered this game all the way through. I've been inconsistent. I've been consistent. I've been all over the place. But DLC pack number 5 has dropped. I'll be dropping my review on that extremely soon. But again, guys, thank you guys so much for all the support this year. Like, obviously, this year ain't over. But it's just crazy to see that we're already in November, mid-November at that. So just again, get ready for the ride this channel's about to take you on, y'all. I'm going to catch y'all. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to catch y'all. Peace.